Hey, what's going on? It's Mike, and I want to give you some tips on how you can protect your online accounts, your mobile devices, and also lower your chances of being the victim of a personal cyber attack, or essentially to help you avoid getting hacked. So tip number one, create strong passwords. So you want to make sure that your password is a minimum of 8 to 10 characters long. It should contain uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as special characters. And the one thing that you want to avoid whenever you're creating a password is don't use any common words or common phrases or any numbers that can be easily associated with you or guessed. Another thing to keep in mind too when it comes to your passwords is to avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. And so the reason why that's important is that let's say someone is able to guess your password for one account. The next logical step, the next thing that they're probably going to try to do is to see if that password works for all of your other accounts online. So don't get caught out there. Whenever possible, mix it up. Use different passwords for all of your online accounts. Tip number two, use two-step verification whenever it's available. So what this allows you to do is to add an additional level of security to your online accounts. So in addition to your username and your password, you'll also have to enter in a special PIN number or passphrase in order to complete the sign-on process. And the way that actually works in practice is, let's say you go to log into your account, you enter in your username, you enter in your password, you log in, and so you're going to be prompted to enter in a special code or a passphrase. Now, the only way that you get that code or passphrase is it's either going to be emailed to you or it's going to be sent to you through a text. And it's not until you enter that in that you get full access to your account. And so the reason why that comes in handy is, let's say someone is able to guess what your username or password is for one of your accounts. They can try to log in, but they're not going to be able to actually log in because they're not, they're not going to be sent that passphrase or username. They're not going to get that in their email or phone because it's going to be sent to you. So whenever possible, turn on two-step authentication. Tip number three, password protect your mobile devices and computers. And I know this is something that is a real touchy subject in some circles, but you have to think about it. We keep a lot of sensitive data on our phones, on our computers, and from we manage our finances. People run their businesses. We control our social media accounts from our devices and from our computers. I mean, just think for a second of all the different apps that you may use, your banking apps, your home security apps, things that you open up and it may just instantly log you in. So think about your computer and different sensitive information that you may save in your computer. And just imagine if either of those things, if you lost those things, or if they were stolen from you, they weren't password protected. So that means that person they have access to everything that you've stored, all your sensitive business information, personal information. So that could really be disastrous. So whenever possible, use a passcode or a passphrase, password on your mobile devices, on your phones, your tablets, and your computers. Tip number four, be mindful of the things that you have stored in remote locations, things that are stored out there on the cloud. The reason why that is important is because we don't have full control over those locations. So while we may be able to take great measures to protect our personal computers and our devices, we rely on companies and services to make sure that they're doing all that they have to do to protect those cloud locations for us. So what you should do, one thing to do is to anything that you have out there in the cloud, if something is really sensitive, you may want to consider just downloading it and just storing that data on a personal drive or just something in your possession. So that just ensures that if a company, if let's say that service that you use to store your data up in the cloud or on that remote location, if in the unfortunate scenario that location gets hacked, you can kind of ensure that your sensitive information that you were storing there doesn't get out there. So keep in mind, so things like iCloud, if you are an iPhone user or just a Mac user and you use iCloud, think about if you have any sensitive data that you have out there that you wouldn't like to get out there if that service was hacked. So you may want to just log in, take some things off, whether that's photos, whether that's notes, emails, take those things down. Same thing for your email as well. If there's any sensitive data, records that you're storing there, but you wouldn't want to get out if that service was hacked, you may want to consider just taking that stuff off. And so that's for any online service, any sensitive data that you have stored remotely, consider just downloading it from those locations, deleting it, and having it in your personal possession. All right, so those are my 4 tips to help protect your online accounts, your mobile devices, your computers, and to hopefully lower your chances of being the victim of a personal cyber attack, to prevent your accounts, your devices from being hacked. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And if you like this video, if you like the information that I'm sharing with you, like this video, share it, and I'll see you next time.